Clayton Kershaw is now available. Use the raise your hand icon if you have any questions. First question from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Clayton, how nice was it for you to be able to take the ball today? And not only that for the first time this season, but to be so effective out there in 5 2/3.
Yeah, it was fun. I missed it. It was hard to miss opening day, obviously. I was a little, not worried, but I didn't know how long it was going to take for my back to get better. And then I bounced back pretty quick. And so just thankful I got to get out there today. And yeah, I felt good. It was awesome just to be back out there and get a win. It felt good.
It's not often that when you come off of the mound, we see such a wonderful smile on your face. Can you give us a little bit more of an indication of what that was about? Was it just being grateful that it was such a successful outing? Kind of take us through that moment for you.
Well, I mean, just there's guys in the front row, clapping. So I didn't know what to do. I see Strip and Walker over there. I was like, that's pretty weird. But, I think there's a lot of things involved. I think first time pitching in, golly, 8-9 months. And so of a game that actually matters. So I think there was some relief and some thankfulness for sure. Just grateful to get to be back out there again. And just relieved to get that first one behind you and, feel good about it and get to have another one.
Clayton, you've always had success regardless of where the velocity has been on your pitches. But today you've had several balls that were faster and harder than any ball that you threw last year. To what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I've done a lot of different things and gotten a lot of help from, all training staff, strength and conditioning staff, just working out, doing different things, arm care wise. So there's a lot of things. I just kind of threw everything at it and see what came out. And I think the biggest thing is just feeling healthy, feel really good, and moving well, and just thankful for the arm feeling so good as it did today.
You had some good 92s and 93s there. Also, just defensively, a lot of rollovers too, where Chris Taylor was at the shortstop position. How were you able to get so many over there? Was it defensive positioning or just kind of the pitches that you were using?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, Dino, all those guys, front office guys do a great job of putting guys where they hit the ball. And so our guys were right there today, so it was nice.
Okay, Clayton, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Clayton? Question from Jack Harris. Go ahead,
Jack. Clayton, were you expecting to first go as long as you did today and also just have as solid command over your pitches and the movement on the slider and the velocity on the fastball?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about pitch count going into the game. My last start, I know it was 10 days ago or however, 15 days ago, whenever I got to start inter squad, but, I threw close to 100 pitches. So, I felt like I didn't really lose too much. So didn't expect necessarily that I get to go 100, but, somewhere, in the 80, 90 range, which is what it ended up being. And, I thought that was great. And then, stuff wise, I kind of had an idea that it might be playing up a little bit as compared to last year, but, that's what I expect it to be. I expect it to be right there, and I expect, the execution to be the way it was, being able to get the ball both sides of the plate, and that's what it should look like. And so I'm glad it was.
Thank you.
One more question from Pedro Moura. Go ahead, Pedro.
Hey, Clayton, it seemed like on your first strikeout, you for a moment started to roam around the mound before you realized that Barnes was still waiting to throw you back the ball because of the protocols. How difficult was it to adjust to any COVID protocols, considering this is your first game?
Yeah, there was definitely some things, to get used to, obviously throwing the ball around. And, I mean, just to start the day too, you eat your food in the hotel and you got to take the bus. And, I like to get here early on start days and, wasn't able to do that. So, so many different things, but at the end of the day, everybody's dealing with it. And we still get to play baseball. So I'm thankful for that. And got used to it. And I'm sure we'll continue to get used to it as the season goes.
Thanks.
Thank you, Clay.
All right. Thanks.
Dave Roberts now available. First question from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dave, if we could just get a quick update on Mookie. I understand that he left the game with a sore finger on that left hand, sore middle finger.
Yeah, I think you heard it during the swing. A check swing. No, he swung through a pitch, and I guess it's swelled up during the game, and we got him in there for another inning of defense. So he's day to day. I guess we'll know more, once we get into San Diego. But there was some good swelling. So again, just the day to day, and we'll see tomorrow.
Any testing required on that finger?
I don't think so. It just kind of with the swelling. Obviously, it limited the flexion, but actually, I'm sorry, Alanna, I think there was a test, an X-ray, and it was negative.
Okay, great. As far as Clayton Kershaw is concerned, how nice was it to see not only he go through 5 2/3 for you, but not giving up any earned runs, and the velocity certainly on that fastball seems to be up a tick.
Yeah, it was up a tick, and that's kind of what we saw in spring training early. It was really good to have him back, execute the pitches, and yeah, you still look at the radar gun once in a while and you see 2s and 3s. So the slider had the depth that we were used to. Do some good curveballs for strikes, going glove side, arm side with the fastball. So he kept those guys guessing, missing the barrel, and Austin and he were in lockstep today.
And both he and Kenley Jansen spent time in this offseason at Driveline. Kenley seemed to have more velocity on his pitches as well. Do you attribute that to the same type of situation for Kersh?
I think possibly. I think that we got some staff that's been working with both those guys with their bodies too, and really getting them all aligned and synced up. Kenley was really good today. I think towards the end with 2 outs, he started to overthrow the cutter a little bit, overthrew the slider and the fastball, but the ball was really coming out good. I think a little bit of the adrenaline got to him. And
finally, for me, Skip, Cody Bellinger, how nice was it to see him be able to get that home run there and put a smile back on his face? Yeah. I mean, it was. I'm certain it was weight off his shoulders. Have the mental day yesterday, and to start today off with a 2-run homer, which proved to be the difference. And his next at bat, he found another barrel. So I think we're heading in the right direction. Thank you.
Next question from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave, piggybacking on Cody's day, not to put too much stock into at-bats, but those first 2 appearances he had at the plate, can that be a building block for him, or something that can serve as a springboard?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as a hitter, sometimes it takes 1 at-bat and it just gets you locked in. And even after that second at-bat, you can see the takes that he was seeing the ball better. So I do think today, not only because of the homer, but today was a good step in the right direction for Cody.
And with Clayton, when he has that extra tick or two on his fastball, what does that allow him to do that maybe he wasn't able to do last year?
Well, obviously, it gives you more margin for error when you do miss. But today, his command was so good, he didn't miss out over with the fastball. And I think today, really, the slider was really good. It was sharp. It was in the zone. Then it was down below, and just the location of the command. So, again, it gives you more margin. But today, he could have pitched at 90 with that fastball command.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Rowan.
Hey, Dave. Clayton said when he hurt his back, he didn't know then how long it would really take to feel better. Did you think, basically 2 weeks later that this type of performance would have been possible, back when he first heard it?
Yeah, after the scan and it was clean, then we were more optimistic. And our staff has done a tremendous job with Clayton, and he's just such a good patient and student. So he got back as quick as he possibly could, and that's a credit to him and the staff.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question from Claudia Gestro. Go ahead.
Hey Dave, you guys faced some good pitchers today. What are your thoughts on how your guys grinded out on the plate?
Well, it was a grind. I think that yesterday we blew it open a little bit, but those guys pitched us tough. We don't have a whole lot of familiarity with those guys. There's some younger guys, but Matt Hurgis over there did a really good job game planning against our guys. Fortunately, we got some big hits when we needed to.
Thank you.
Got a question from Bob Nightingale.
Oh, I'm in the background.
Is that Cody? Hey, Bob.
Go ahead, Bob. Got a question from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dave, just wondering if you had an update on Corey Seager. Did the cramping subside? Is any update on him?
It was a good day for Corey. Just kind of a, recovery treatment day. I talked to him. It's day to day. We'll see tomorrow. I think best case scenario, Alanna, is we'd see a DH tomorrow, but it's all contingent, and we got to err on the side of caution with Corey.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Got a skin question from Bob Nightingale. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Dave, sorry. I want you to the last 6 games now, and it seemed like you guys are as good as ever. Do you have the same confidence right now in 10 days as you have anytime since you joined the Dodgers?
As far as the pen?
No, just the team overall.
You know what, Bob? I really like this team, this group of guys. So I don't say it's more confidence than I've ever had. To be quite honest, I don't think we've really clicked on all cylinders. I think we're catching the baseball. The bullpen's been really good. Offense, haven't really got untracked, which I know we will. And, today, obviously, with Clayton giving us a great start, Julio last night. So we're finally hitting our stride.
Thanks, Dave.
Got another question from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
On that note of, saying you feel like you guys probably aren't at your peak yet, how much is that because, in this first week you didn't have Clayton and Cody was struggling, and how key, for all the depth you guys have are those star guys at the top of the lineup to what you guys want to accomplish this year?
Well, I think it's a couple things. Obviously not having Clayton is big, but on the offensive side, for the most part, even, around the league, hitters are a little bit behind pitching, and the average is down, runs scored down. It's a small sample, but I just love the way our guys grind.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, guys. Thank you. Hey, Joe.
or whatever you want. Cody Bellinger is now available. First question from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Cody. You know, was the off day yesterday helpful to just kind of reset after the first week? And how important was it to come back today and get the home run and the other ball you hit hard?
Yeah, it was nice. I actually felt really good yesterday. And then today felt really good as well. And it's nice to see results in a game. Sometimes it doesn't always translate. But overall, I felt, really good these past few days.
Are you still working on those swing changes you talked about during training camp? Or are you trying to go back a little bit more to what
No, I've been back to last year's for a while now. It's just a matter of getting timing down, and obviously it's go time. But I'm not too worried about it. I feel really good the past 2 days, and hopefully I can keep it rolling.
Is that something that, just given the time constraints and the other sort of measures this year, that it's just really hard to enact a change like that?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. Everything about it is unique, but no excuses. So it's still the game of baseball out there.
Is that something you think you might try to pursue in the future? Maybe in this coming off season?
No, it's just I already feel comfortable where I'm at right now, and it's not easy to stay in one spot. You're gonna have to tweak a lot of things throughout the year, but I'm comfortable where I'm at right now.
Well, thank you.
Next question from Ken Grinick. Go ahead, Ken.
Cody, when you've had stretches in the past when you have a problem, it's strikeouts, and you weren't striking out. Was this really more just kind of making sure that you keep trusting what you were doing and not getting down because you weren't seeing the results?
Yeah, I told Alanna right after the game that I haven't really felt bad. It's just a matter of missing pitches, and it's just something that's small, and that's the game, though. There's always going to be issues you got to fix, and so yeah, it's not trying to be too results based, but knowing when you feel good and when you don't feel good, and trying to go from there.
Thanks.
I have a question from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Rowan.
Hey, Cody. You kind of touched on it, but how nice did it feel just to connect on that one? And do you feel like sometimes it can be just an at bat or two at bats that can help kind of flip a switch a little bit?
For sure. Felt great. But I know it's still going to be a grind. It's not going to come easy now that I clicked those two balls. So I'm going to keep working and stay, where I'm at and continue to feel good at the dish.
How hard is it at the plate right now not to think about, okay, there's only 60 games, or, not to press at all, just knowing the at-bats you're going to get are obviously a lot less than a typical year?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Throughout the game, you don't really think about it. It's just something that we've never experienced before. So, but it's definitely exciting. It's not really a bad thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks, everybody.